Hello, hello, it's Kat from the Fire Tuna Club again. Kind of keeping this rolling theme of changing things up. Like, do I ever stay static? I'm bringing you a toy custom video. As with my Pinky Cooper pickup, I was wandering through Goodwill one day and saw a Chococat from Hello Kitty. I could see his future clearly as a Moogle. So if you want to make your own Moogle, all you also need on top of the Chococat is some wings. Fangelica's wings from the Monster High doll actually work exceptionally well, also found at Goodwill. Some wire, some polymer clay, paint, glue. If you choose to make the stand like I did, you'll also need some assorted paper, more glue, either a printout or pens, and a toothpick. Now you'll also need tools, but that depends on how deeply you're going to go into modding your toy. For me, I used a nail buffer and an X-Acto knife to take off his tail and his scarf, file down as much as I could of things without destroying the doll itself. That being said, if you make a mistake, you could probably fix it. Very few times have I run into a project where I have destroyed it and had to give up. Once your Chococat is prepped with his whiskers, tail, and scarf gone, and everything that is accessorizable about him, remember that he's a toy. Play with him a little. And say goodbye to his original face.
Paging Dr. Clay. Paging Dr. Polymer Clay to the OR. Your patient is waiting.
You're going to get polymer clay to form the Mr. Moogle nose, or if you have apoxy, that works too. Once you have everything shaped how you like, you're going to want to bake according to instructions, let cool, and glue the pieces back into place. Basic mods for the body done, I'm going to go ahead and start with a spray paint priming layer of white, and then several layers of white acrylic paint afterwards to get the opacity that I want for my Moogle. Any project that involves paint has a fantastic hurry up and wait aspect. During this time of painting on many layers and pausing for dry time, I worked on the other parts of the Moogle. But for consistency's sake, we're gonna say I finished painting and then worked on other parts. Coming back to the wings, I remove the tabs that help the wings stick to Fangelica. Then work on, you guessed it, painting them the right color. Couple of layers later, the wings are ready to go. I use some wire and super glue to stick them in place securely. We're about halfway there now. I use basic watercolor pencils to sketch in the lines for the eye so that I don't get them misplaced. The bonus about using pencils is you can erase it. And then I follow up with some acrylic paint and a fine brush and carefully paint over those lines. I hope you didn't use up all your polymer clay because you still need to make a Moogle pom-pom. You'll want some sandpaper to smooth out your ball or to remove any dirt your clay might have picked up when you rolled it. This step is optional, but you can get something that has a similar arc to what you want to make for your wire and wrap your wire around that object. I used my scrap stuff jar for this arc. And then I kind of just modified the jar arc with my fingers, as you can see here. I cut off all the extra I gave myself just to be sure I got the arc I wanted. And then I got ready to actually fully form the pom-pom. So if you want to do what I did, lose your first polymer clay ball, make a new one, then get the drill and put a hole in it. Don't forget to get adult supervision for the drill, and probably the super glue too if you're like me and you tend to glue yourself to your projects. Hey look, another inconsistency. I mean, more paint. All of the painting is involved in this project. And look, I forgot another painting spot. You know what? Every step in this project is paint, 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 okay? Good, got it. Onward to fur. I mean paint. So it's time to actually add in the fur for the Moogle's tufts on his face and his chest. We're going to start with the chest because the hole was really bothering me and I had to cover it up. So I got some fast grab tacky glue, spread it all over the area that I wanted the fur to fuse to, and then began the long and slow process of applying fur, giving some time for the glue to dry, applying more glue, applying more fur, applying more you know what? No more skipping this.
Calm down and remind them to trim the fur.
How does she get such fluffy and wonderful fur, you might ask? I had a scrap of white fur laying around from that time I dressed up as God-tier Jade, so I decided to cut up a little bit of fur off that each time I needed some soft, luscious Moogle fur. Tip shared. Next. With all the fur attached, the wings complete, the Moogle pom-pom put on, and the face painted on, the Moogle is done. It's time to get to the stand. I'm not going to go over all the steps because that would be a whole nother tutorial in itself, but I did make 2 miniature books for his stand. I cut up some paper in an appropriate size, roughed it up some, rubber banded them together and glued the spines so that they would stick, not necessarily that would be great books to open. Made the covers and doodled a little bit on them to make them a little bit more authentic-y, and then put them together. Boom! Books! Well, 1 book and 1 unfinished book. Either way, a little bit more decoration, and then we'll get to the root of this whole video. I hope you guys didn't forget how much I like power tools. Now that I've made the books, let's drill some holes in them! And you guys remember that toothpick, right? We're gonna use some glue to put those books together, and then use the toothpick as a means of getting the Moogle on and off the books at any given time. As you can see here, I removed the toothpick so the books can dry together firmly, and then I'll add it back in later with its own adhesive. Ha! A word that isn't glue. Once the toothpick is secured, your stand is done. No character story here. Only the story about how Final Fantasy means a lot to me. It's been in my life for the good and the bad, and I met my husband through Final Fantasy XI. More Final Fantasy will be coming to this channel at some point, someday. You'll just have to wait and see. I hope you enjoyed watching. It's that time again where I ask you to subscribe to my channel, like my video, or press the little bell button for alerts. Or you can just go to my Instagram, Fire Tuna Club, if you'd like to suggest content or even see sneak peeks. And let's not forget the fine power of leaving a comment. Thanks for watching.